All right, go.
I'm rocking with Don Kilam.
Let's go. Peace and love. It's your boy Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. And as always, prosperity is your divine birthright. Got us another special episode. I'm solo dolo today, but of the private cast. And I'm here teaching everybody how to preserve wealth to all the private families across the globe. Welcome back to another elite session with your boy Don Kilam, coming straight out of the private sector. It's your boy from DK's Private Business Circle. Now look at your life right now. Look at the structures that you're standing under. Are you acting as a dead entity, or are you operating as a living, breathing soul in your true private capacity? So today, we go completely off the record, and we're stripping away the commercial mask. And when I just learned about, we talk about commercial mask, it's time to go incognito. I just learned today, just look at the incognito logo. I just learned from my boy C's behind the camera. He was telling me this was a secret agent, a private detective. He used to, he used to wear, what's that, a fedora and dark sunglasses, and now they use him. They kind of trademarked his image, incognito. But anyways, before we look at the administrative court systems, before we go into the uniform commercial codes and how you've been monetized via the public school and birth registration pipeline, because that's what's happened between birth registration, school, all these public entities, you have been monetized. So I'm going to take everybody back to the very beginning right now. I want everybody to anchor your mind into this reality of history, because I'm tired of being judged. Hold on. I'm tired of you motherfuckers judging me. Okay? I'm going to tell you why. I follow the Bible. King James Version, the new translation version, whatever version, it don't fucking matter. Excuse my language, we're talking about the Bible here. I apologize. Strike that from the record. But there's cursing in the Bible too. And I'm gonna teach you what else was in the Bible. Just think about this. Let me ask y'all one question right now. This is gonna shake y'all up a little bit. If you're into your legal or religious programming, it might shake you up a little bit. But can you name 3 professions that stand the test of time, even in the Bible, even in the Bibles y'all read? It doesn't matter what Bible. 3 roles that never go anywhere. No matter what empire that is rising or falling, no matter what fiat currency is collapsing under the weight of private central banking. Can y'all name 3 professions? And this is why Don Kilam will always stand the test of time, because he knows these 3 professions and he dibbles and dabbles with all 3 professions. So first, number one profession. This is when I want you to pay attention, okay, C's? Number 1 profession, a preacher. Aren't there preachers in the Bible? The spiritual orchestrator, the one who understands the word, the breath, the spirit, and the establishment of assemblies, because even in the Constitution, it says they cannot go against freedom of association and assemblies. So, am I correct? If you're listening on the live, and people on the replay, y'all can too, drop a 100, say, a preacher does stand the test of time. So I teach my whole congregation how to get ordained. And people want to hate on that. It's in the Bible, stands the test of time. You're ordained. You know how to talk to God. You know how to bring down that to God. You know how to orchestrate the spiritual realms. You'll always have a job. So don't be no hater that I'm ordaining my people. Make 7 up yours, motherfuckers. Now, the second one, can y'all guess it? You ready for the second one? Can you guess it? It's an accountant. There's the record keeper, the master of the ledger, the one who balances assets and liabilities. Because even in the ancient world, double entry bookkeeping and tracking the commercial energy of the people was the way to total control. There's always been preachers. There's always been tax guys, accountants, whatever you want to call them, okay? Can y'all guess the third one? The third one. Brace yourself now. The pause is for effect, okay? That was for the effect. Y'all ready? A prostitute. A whore. So we got the preacher, accountants, and whores. Praise Jesus. It's all in the Bible. So a prostitute, well, in the Bible, they call them harlots. So y'all be like, I can't find a prostitute nowhere in the Bible. Did you try List Crawler? But no, let's be clear about the history, family. The text shows they didn't just exist. They assisted prophets. Not only did they exist, they assisted prophets. They had whores in the temple. So the church used to slang the kitty cat. You understand? The person you got saved from was also slanging coochie. Hey, I'm just keeping it 100. Praise God. Now, they played strategic roles. Because when you look at Mary Magdalene, okay, Mary Magdalene was a hoe, okay? Heaven on earths. Don't cut me off the air. H-O-E, heavens on earths. So even Mary Magdalene, that was Mary's best friend, Jesus' mama. Jesus' godmama was a hoe. Straight up. Jesus had a godmama. That was a guy, they called her Godmama Mary, you know? Double M. So that was intertwined with the ministry of Jesus in his inner circle. And that represents the baseline of reality. Jesus hung out with the pimps. Jesus hung out with the hoes. Real talk, he hung out with them. Now, why do I lay that foundation right out the gate? Because that is exactly why I believe our business structure is timeless and unshakable. Because I teach people how to get ordained. I teach you the tax credits, the tax plays. And I teach you about the heavens on earth, you know? You can't have a home without an H-O-E. You dig what I'm saying? All you need is a Mary. Then you got the H-O-M-E. Just look at what we do at DK's Private Business Circle. Text Private Life, you know, the 702-249. I ain't trying to throw y'all off. But we do assist in people getting ordained. We establish their spiritual and private standing above the state. Second, we show the accounting masters, the tax credit plays, the securitization audits, and the assets that preserve the ledgers. We show you this. We show you how to do the audits, though. That's the main thing. And the tax plays. How to get the tax credits. Everything's a tax credit or a deductible. And third, we recognize that a home isn't a home without a heaven on earth. You need the ultimate sanctuary, the private estate where the laws of the sea cannot cross the boundary line onto your land. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to teach you about private equity and the 3 pillars to unlock the private unincorporated association trust. Now, most people think of ordination, when you become ordained, it means you go hide in a traditional church building, and that's not the case. Because I teach you how to utilize this and become a sui juris standing under universal law. Now you have sui juris standing, S-U-I space J-U-R-I-S, sui juris standing. So when you look at the public sector, that's full of statutory legislation, okay? It never addresses a living man or a living woman. So when you go look at your text of your corporate codes, it uses the term person, which was legally modified in 1862 to mean an artificial entity or corporation or a partnership. So when we assist you in getting ordained, when we assist in assisting you become ordained through an authentic private spiritual assembly, you are declaring your capacity under the highest law. The laws of the Creator, the laws of the universe. You are establishing an expressed, sovereign ministry trust. You gotta know the law. You got universal law in the Creator. Then you got the living soul, which are ordained private status. Then you got the constitutional public officers, which are fiduciaries. Then you got the de facto statutory corporations, which are the legal fictions. I'm just trying to break it down simple as I can, and a lot of y'all don't won't understand it. You have one question leads to the next question, and this is why I don't really assist the public. You got to do your own study and research. You start where you're at. Wherever understanding you have, then you work your way up. This takes years of knowledge, years of study. Some people get it right away, some people don't. But you have to understand this. Who created the state? A man did. Private families did. You think this is the government, but you are the government. They even told you this from day one. You are the government. So people have created a de facto government, and you decide to sign up for it. No one is forcing you to get a birth certificate. No one is forcing you to get an ID, and no one's forcing you to get a Social Security card. It may be harder to do commerce in the public system, but no one's forcing you to do these things. You can have a home birth with a doula or a midwife and create your own private documents, such as the Amish. They create their own birth certificates, their own family Bible entries, their own affidavits of live birth. So every natural man and every natural woman is born private. Then, when your birth certificate becomes registered, you as an illegitimate child without inheritance and blood, a legal bastard, that's what a birth certificate makes you do when you're doing one with the state. They place your given name in the stillborn probate column of the state's maritime ledger. A lot of people don't know this. This is private information that I do not bring to the public, but you heard it here first from your boy Don Kilam. So if you hear it anywhere else, it came from Don Kilam. You become a ward of the state under a foreign situs trust. A foreign situs trust. Your name, when it's put on a state-issued birth certificate, they put you as a stillborn under the probate column of the state's maritime ledger. But when you invoke your ordination in private spiritual assembly standing, you are executing a claim of right. You are telling the administrative magistrates, I am the executive in chief and beneficiary of this estate. I'm not an accommodation party or trustee for your corporate national debt. Now, on the flip side, when you become you update your status, you become a legal aid, you are the trustee, you're not the beneficiary, but you can only be the beneficiary with the state. There's no other capacity you can step into unless you sign over these rights into your own businesses and corporations.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Peace and love, it's your boy Don Kilam, and welcome to Dream Keepers Radio, that private life podcast. You're here, tuned in with your boy, and this is brought to you by Follow the Yellow Brick Road by Don Kilam. Search the book on Amazon now. Go get the book and uncover the matrix and how the United States is operating in the financial marketplace. Much peace and love. So the second pillar, the accountant. So I always tell my students, don't look at one side of the ledger. When banks or the IRS send out presentments, bills, they're only showing you the debtor side. So private families, I need you to listen to this very closely. This is where the magic happens. The international bankers and corporate entities have two sets of books. Just like the underworld. On the public side of a ledger, which is visible on your standard balance sheets, and they show you as a debtor and the bank as a creditor. But on the private side, hidden side of the ledger, the off-balance sheet accounts payable. You are the absolute principal creditor because everything came from your Social Security number starting off. A utility bill, you can't open up a utility account without your Social Security number. You can't get approved for a car without your Social Security number. You can't get your water turned on without a Social Security number. You can't get public welfare without your Social Security number. You can't get public housing without your Social Security number. You can't get that credit card without your Social Security number. So you need to understand, or understand, I should say, not understand. Understand means you stand under their jurisdiction. You must understand and overstand that everything is already prepaid and paid for. So once you hand over the Social Security number, it has been paid for because that is the trust account to discharge debt. And when you start paying again, that is the bank's double entry ledger right there. They know they got you. They know they can send you the visible public side and you'll take account for the public debts. But we all know, if you look up even 28 U.S.C. 2002, you look up the definition of debt, debts belong to the United States. HJR 192, the United States will discharge all debt dollar for dollar. But you become the United States on the public side, you step in that position, which makes you something called a person. And you don't have to take that persona, that person. You don't have to step in that position. You can stay private. The man and the woman is recognized as the creditor on the private side. The autograph created the real currency. You're the real superstar. So on the public side, that's the accounts receivable. The private side is the accounts payable. Public side, accounts receivable. Person, that's the registered debtor. The bank claims ownership of the note because you didn't in the private. So how I learned about this truthfully was mortgages. I started learning about GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Because when you step into the financial institution for a mortgage or a credit card, right, the loan officer is waiting for one thing, your autograph. We're not going to say signature because signature is a sign of nature, and that's what they're looking for, really, your signature. You want to say your autograph because with an autograph, you can remain autonomous. They tell you that your signature is an acknowledgement of the debt. Now, this is truly a commercial lie because under UCC 3-401, a signature is merely the mark of an artificial person or a corporate entity. I'm going to say it again. Under UCC 3-401, a signature is merely the mark of an artificial person or a corporate entity. So your signature on that promissory note is what actually creates the credit by injecting your raw commercial energy into their system. This is black magic. This is a form of voodoo. Because if I say take this person to jail and it's just a representation of you, a mugshot, that's a form of voodoo. We're using paper instead of dollars. I'm not going to get deep, but spelling is spell casting. But, so your signature on the promissory note is what actually creates the credit by injecting your raw commercial energy into the system. The bank takes your note, it treats it as a cash deposit under GAAP. And then they securitize it, they assign it a CUSIP number, and trade it on the global market for a massive profit. They multiply your energy, they hide the creditor ledger, and then send you monthly bills requiring you to pay them back with interest. That's the game of securitization. Now, in DK's private business circle, we show you the tax credit plays and the administrative notice strategies. When you receive an invoice from a corporate agency, you don't argue with them. Argument is an immediate commercial dishonor that grants them jurisdiction. Instead, you issue a conditional acceptance under UCC 1-308. You preserve all your rights. When you're dealing with these things, okay, I'm just showing y'all if y'all want to get rid of that personal debt that you think is personal. It's really business because you're a sole trader. The Social Security number is tied to a trust. You should already be filing a 1041 instead of a 1040. A 1040 is going to make you an individual taxpayer, which makes you a descendant of a taxpayer. So you just change your status to taxpayer. 1041 is always a trust. Look it up. It's a Social Security number of trust. Yes, it is. And it goes to disability insurance. It goes to insurance. Disability insurance, old age insurance. It's insurance. It's insurance policies. And the insurance is to protect the public, not you and the privates. So when you start learning these things, start requesting a certified copy of the complete audit of certified financial statements. They have to certify these financial statements. A credit report is not a certified financial statement. When they send a bill in the mail, that's not a certified financial statement. It's because you accept it, which makes it lawful and legal. You did not send it back. You accepted it. So you have to learn how to accept your presentments correctly and then settle accounts. All right? You have to learn how to make them verify under penalty of perjury and full commercial liability. Now, that's the accounting. We went to ordained accounting. Now let's establish our heavens on earths, okay? So, the timeless profession, the acronym that everyone's going to remember, HOE. You're going to remember that. Heaven on earth. Look at the term, owner in legalese. When you register your land or your vehicle with the state, you surrender the legal title to the government corporation and receive back an inferior equitable title. You become a tenant on your own land, paying rent to the state in the form of property taxes. If you stop paying their tribute, their policy enforcement agents will step onto your property and execute a foreclosure trespass. So a home is an actual home until it's structured as a heaven on earth. This means you move your real estate, your custom luxury jewelry, your assets, your intellectual creations, your names, completely out the public jurisdiction. You transfer them into the private, unincorporated family business trust or a private, unincorporated association. So the hoe sector, the heavens on earth, because a hoe doesn't tell. She don't kiss and tell. You pay them one time, they don't kiss and tell. You pay them to leave, not to stay. So the heaven on earth, that's the allodial titles, the allodial private land trust, permanent asset protection, immune to statutory liens, unlimited sovereign standing. The public domain is always a simple registration that requires a fee. You're subject to property taxes, you're subject to foreclosures, and you limit your liabilities. So when your sanctuary is a private allodial estate, you do not use signatures. You authorize every transaction with your autograph and a red ink thumbprint, which provides undisputed evidence of life and substance. No corporate magistrate or administrative tribunal can concern itself with anything other than corporate fictions and the contracts between them. So as the ancient case of Penhallow versus Doan's administrative explicitly states, inasmuch every government is an artificial person, an abstract, and a creation of the mind only, a government can interface only with other artificial persons. So your heaven on earth is a sanctuary where unequal things are never joined. You don't allow the dead fiction of the law of the sea to cross the threshold of your private living space. You are the executor. You are your businesses you have control over will be the grantor or the settler. We have non-grantor trusts as well. Your nonprofits, your unincorporated associations will be the primary beneficiaries. Your children will take positions of the nonprofits. The state's public officers are your fiduciaries. They are your trustees bound by their oaths to protect your private estate. So if they breach that trust, they operate under full commercial liability and can be hit with severe administrative charges. That's trust law. That's how you implement trust laws. That's the private foundation. I showed you how to become ordained. I showed you the tax credit plays and a real heaven on earth to protect your families from the global debt matrix. So what I'm saying, truthfully, let's start at the end. The heaven on earth, my hoe is the trust. The trust's going to do what I need it to do. You know, we pay it to leave, not to stay. You understand? I don't think you get it. Arm length distance. I pay to leave, not to stay, ho. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And it protects my interests. It doesn't kiss and tell. But the tax credit plays, research and development is my main one. Everything's a write-off or deductible, but I teach people how to create their name into a business and preserve their family legacy. We're creating family libraries. You know, we're here to preserve our legacy because we know we're monarchs. And that goes in place. Look at any president of the United States, which is a corporation. They have libraries. Why do they have libraries? Why is there information that you can't get a hold of in the public? Books. So you should have the same thing. And that ties in with tax credit plays when you start learning research and development and then putting yourself on the payroll instead of working for somebody else. I even show people that have large tax obligations how to get around that by just donating to charity. And it may be your charity. And become an ordained. Everybody become ordained through Universal Life Church, ulc.org. Doesn't matter what you believe in. It's something that truly have, because a Bible is a factor in the courtroom. The Bible is a fact in the courtroom. You swear upon the Bible. There's a reason why there's black and white letters. And then when Jesus spoke, it's red, because red is the living word. There's a reason why I said we sign in red and thumbprint in red, because that proves that you're real. That proves your essence was truly there. You don't need a signature. You can do a thumbprint. That proves your essence was really there. And so the maximum of law is absolute. He who fails to assert his rights has none. I'm going to say that again. The maximum of law is absolute. He who fails to assert his rights has none. No one's going to tell you what your rights are. You have God-given rights. And when you don't understand this, your rights will be given to you. And they will be read to you. If you continue to walk through the world acting as a person, which is a corporation, signing administrative tickets, begging for permits, and paying these fees and commercial fines, you are choosing economic slavery by silent acquiescence. Ignorance is the only thing keeping you under this jurisdiction. Freedom is not something given to you by corporate governor or administrative judge. It's an inherent right that you must actively exercise and hold with attention to your living status. The Queen of England, who gave the Queen of England her power and said, hey, you think it was the United States? Who gave the Pope his power? How is the Amish in power in being outside the scope of the United States control, but still able to operate within the United States? And let's take it a step further. I don't want to be cut off the air, nothing like that, but let's look at the Jewish families. How are they able to step outside the scopes of the United States jurisdiction and be protected by the United States on top of that? These are true sovereign communities. The Amish, the Catholics, the higher ups, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Jewish, these are true sovereign communities. I don't want to get deep with y'all, but I'm going to give y'all some more sovereign communities. The Ku Klux Klan, I can't even say it, the KKK. These are sovereign communities. The Freemasons, these are sovereign communities still operating and thriving to this day, while the black people seem to struggle. And the reason why I'm saying this and bringing this up, because I started in a black community, and there's no reason why you can't thrive too, okay? I started in the hood. I started off in the ghetto. I started off in the projects. And I've been Section 8, been on food stamps, all of that. That's how I know it's not something that you truly wish to be part of and partake in. It has an energy pattern into it. Section 8 has the fathers out the home. United we stand, divided we fall. We have to come together. It takes a village, and our people don't stick together. And I'm bringing this up because y'all, I just had a video go viral talking about be a foreigner, how to get foreign IDs. And a lot of people want to say I'm wrong, but let's look at Chinatown, because I was just there. Let's go to Koreatown. They got their own banks. Where's your bank? Where's your community? Besides your community getting locked up and y'all selling drugs on it and don't own nothing on the block. The Chinese people own stuff in Chinatown and have their own banks. The Korean people have their own towns and bank. They own their land. They own their banks. They own their stores in Koreatown. Chicago, they got Puerto Rican town. Where's our shit? You don't want to come together. This is why I need y'all to understand what the freak is going on. You keep signing up your rights to the government, but you want to give your hard-earned assets and labor and everything you work for to them. Malt liquor, Newports. You'll pay for that shit though, but you don't want to pay to get your community to come together. This is what the fuck I do at DK's Private Business Circle. I bring my community together. I show you how to get that paper, and I show you how to build things. We're working on our own credit union right now. We're working on home health care facilities. We're working on halfway houses. I'm not going to get deep because that's part of private life. You don't need to know what the fuck I got going on. Just tap in. We got land out this motherfucker. Ain't nobody teaching y'all how to get land. Y'all be paying rent to the white man and don't own nothing on the block, but want to fight somebody for coming to your block, but don't own nothing on that motherfucker. Just got to keep it real. Drop a 100 if you feel me. If you don't feel me, you're probably one of those motherfuckers. Go ahead and log off. I don't really give a fuck because I'm dropping game. Got land, all my shit's unincorporated. The government can't even tell me what the fuck to do on my shit. You understand? Unincorporated. Say it again, unincorporated. You're still part of the public sector, you motherfucker. You ain't want to tell me to get off the fucking block. How about you own something on that motherfucker before you sit here and tell me I need to get the fuck up off your block? You're repping some shit and you're still paying the motherfucking hunky. Yeah. Now, let me bring this up too, because I was talking about it today with my guy C's. We all come from royalty. The United States Corporation will never hand down a royal title or tell you about your royal heritage. It taught you about slavery, not your royal heritage. For a tree to grow strong, it has to have strong roots. So you can look up prestigious royal titles. You can get your royal title today because you need to understand this. Municipal bonds is what creates your cities, okay? County is something different. But the county is under the jurisdiction of a count, a domain of a count or earl. So when you look at county, when you look at a county, these are all jurisdictions of a royal family, okay? I need y'all to understand, when I say royal families, I mean private families. They're just royal on record. So private families is what creates everything. You don't have your stuff structured. You're not part of the process. It's just simple. That simple. The Constitution, private families created. Who created your state? Private families. Because there's just invisible lines. All a state is invisible lines. Demographics is the graph of demons. This is one earth. One earth. One earth. That's all I'm going to say. One earth. So who decides these invisible lines? Private families. That's who runs the world. That's who runs the section. And that's who you're paying rent to, motherfucker. Now, so when you look up the word county, the etymology of a county, you look up the etymology of administration. That's adding a minister. So the royal families added ministers to take care of these things. Okay? And it all ties back up to private families. Now, so the county is the domain of a count or earl. You can become a count too. You can become a duke too. You can become a royal title too. Go to prestigious-titles.org or just look it up, prestigious royal titles, okay? Look up administration. That's adding a minister. That's why I taught you how to become ordained. It's always church versus state. You can use a baptismal certificate versus a birth certificate, because all a birth certificate is a baptismal certificate for their section, for their corporation, for their public sector. The public is part of the economy that the government controls. The private sector is the government can't control it. Okay? But we want to work within it and have friendships with them. All right? That way, you're not arguing. Because when you argue, like I said, when you argue, that makes you a defendant. We don't argue. We accept whatever you say upon proof of claim. Prove to me your authority. Prove to me that this is lawful. Prove to me who sent it. You have the right to face your accuser. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. So that's the game I got for you. I'm showing you how to really protect yourself starting off. I gave y'all enough to do your own research and study this. But tap into DK's private business circle by texting private life to 702-200-4900 if you're new to this. Again, or you can call the number 702-200-4900. Say, I want to become part of DK's private business circle, or book a consultation today. But it's time to truly correct your status, shield your family, shield your assets, shield your legacy, and build an unshakable dynasty. That's what I want for everybody, all right? So until next time, stay in honor, stay in power, and remain completely in the private, because that is your right. That is your right to America. This is the private cast, and that's what I'm teaching you, how to get private knowledge, because nothing that's advice costs nothing. If love did the trick, we would all be there. If love did the trick, then your mom and dad did their job. You can question them for free. You can question Google for free. But if you want to question me, it's going to cost a fee. Public education was free, and that's why you didn't get nowhere in life but debt. So this is why we invest in our private education. Come to one of our live events, private trustee training, and all that can be found at DK's Private Business Circle. But with that, I'm out. Much peace and love.
Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G. Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building, you know what I'm saying? Word up. Hey, yo, make sure y'all check out the song bars, you know what I'm saying? Word up by my man Don Kilam. You heard? A Fresco King. Yeah, boy. You know what time it is. Make sure y'all check out the bars by my boy. All right? Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G.